it takes. So you want to be great, but do you really?
It has been a crazy couple of weeks since we last talked to you here on the Hidden Cage podcast. My name is Jack Glennon. My partner and pal Tristan Thornhill is also along on the Hidden Cage podcast. Look, the last couple of weeks of baseball since we last sat down and discussed everything with you have been crazy. Christian Yelich of the Milwaukee Brewers, he's been a huge spark for them, has looked great, and he's really helped them get back to their playoff contending form that they've been in the last couple of years. Christian Yelich, looking back to his MVP form, already 14 home runs and 54 RBIs just about halfway through the year. He looked fabulous, having another all-star campaign as he always seems to do. But more importantly for the Milwaukee Brewers, kind of pulling back on that age regression that we've seen the last couple of years, kind of starting to progress again and actually age like a fine wine. I think he's done a really, really solid job this year in the outfield as well. I think he's been an all-around five-tool player like we've known him and come to love him to be the last couple of years, especially with the Brewers and a little bit with the Miami Marlins as well. In other news, Rafael Devers traded to the San Francisco Giants. Obviously, that news shook the baseball world. He was traded for a package of top pitching prospect Kyle Harrison and bullpen arm Jordan Hicks. That also included former Florida State standout and first-round pick last year of the San Francisco Giants, James Tibbs III. But Kyle Harrison was immediately optioned to AAA Worcester by the Red Sox. Meanwhile, Rafael Devers has looked great in a Giants uniform. And no, I'm not just saying that because I am a Giants fan. I actually got to see his debut in San Francisco in person, 4 rows behind home plate. And let me tell you, he looked electric, and San Francisco and the entire Bay Area is so excited to have Rafi Devers as a member of the San Francisco Giants. Devers goes 2 for 5 in his debut, including an RBI double, bringing in teammate Willy Adames to score. And that really pumped the crowd up. You know, it just, a lot of times with these big trades, like a guy like Yelich, like a Devers, right? It can take them time to kind of get acclimated, understandably so, to their new surroundings. But Rafi Devers has had zero trouble getting acclimated in San Francisco. Also caught the game the next day. Sure, he goes 0 for 4, but he draws a walk. He's finding ways to get on base. A couple days later, 2 games later, hits his first home run as a member of the Giants, goes the opposite way against his former team, the Boston Red Sox. And as of Sunday night, today, he goes, has a nice performance out there, a single, a walk, looks great, scores a couple runs. Giants look like a better team with Rafael Devers out there. They just won a series in San Francisco against a competitive Red Sox team after dropping the last 2 to the Cleveland Guardians and the Los Angeles Dodgers, their fiercest rival. But look, this team is built for success with Rafi Devers. You plug him into that lineup. You got Wilmer Flores. You got Matt Chapman, who's going to be coming off the IL here by the end of the month. You got Bailey, who's an all-gold glove catcher behind the dish. And in the outfield, you got guys like Elliot Ramos and Jung-Hoo Lee. And you also got Willy Adames at shortstop, who's starting to heat up just a bit as well. Now, when you get Chapman back to third, you can perhaps move Casey Schmidt over to second. Schmidt's batting average is up to 286. Hit a home run and went 4 for 4 on Sunday in a series-winning game against the Boston Red Sox. His batting average is up to 286, and that's something that a lot of people wouldn't have expected, including myself, because Schmidt was primarily a platoon first baseman against left-handed pitching. Earlier in the season, when the Giants were still rocking with Lamont Wade against righties, they had Schmidt come in and play first base against left-handed pitchers. And you know, he showed some promise, didn't show a lot of power, but ever since the injury to Matt Chapman, Schmidt's got 4 home runs, 2 grand slams, and he looks fabulous. So Casey Schmidt, I believe the San Francisco Giants could bring back Chapman, obviously move him back to third. He's one of the best defensive third basemen in the league. Move Devers over to first, have Flores be a DH, and have Casey Schmidt at second. And the question is asked, well, what happens to Tyler Fitzgerald? Because me and my guy Tristan have talked a lot on this podcast about Tyler Fitzgerald. And the problem with Tyler Fitzgerald is he's an unknown. Tyler Fitzgerald, a very, very streaky hitter, as most major league batters are. But the problem with Tyler Fitzgerald is the power has kind of dissipated for him this season. Last year, 17 home runs, hit 280. This year, he's in the low 230s, and he's got 2 homers, single-digit RBIs. So Tyler Fitzgerald has got great speed. He's got a solid glove. He can steal a lot of bases, but I think he would be better served as a pinch runner for the San Francisco Giants. And the other question that a lot of people might ask is when you bring Chapman back into the fold and Devers hopefully gets to learn first, you obviously move Wilmer Flores, who's got 54 RBIs as of Sunday night, to the DH spot because you want a guy like that who's going to drive in runs in the lineup every day, no matter the matchup. And the answer to that is, the question that brings up, is that Dom Smith, who's looked great for the Giants, he's come up huge in a number of clutch spots. What do you do with the power-hitting left-handed first base bat of Dom Smith? And the answer to that question is, he'd be a great pinch hitter. He'd be a phenomenal pinch hitter. So in my opinion, for the San Francisco Giants to succeed, the lineup's got to look something like left to right in the outfield, Ramos, Lee, Yastrzemski / Matos, if they bring him back up, maybe mix Daniel Johnson in there a bit too, who's a speedy outfielder, corner outfielder for the Giants. And then infield, you got Adames and Chapman on the left side, and Schmidt and Devers on the right side. Bailey doing the catching, and Devers at DH. With that pitching staff of Robbie Ray, Landon Roop, Hayden Birdsong, Logan Webb, and perhaps Justin Verlander, we'll see how he continues to pitch this season. With that bullpen as well, with guys like Rogers, Doval, Ryan Walker, Randy Rodriguez, and Eric Miller. I think this is a hard team to beat. Obviously, I'm a Giants fan, so people are going to call me crazy. But I do think that this is a hard San Francisco Giants team to beat. And for that reason, the Giants are my pick to make that first wild card spot. Yes, you heard it, above the Philadelphia Phillies. The San Francisco Giants have every bit of a chance, as the Phillies do, to clinch that top wild card spot. Tristan, what do you think?
Jack, what's up, man? And hello to everybody else. This, again, like my partner said, is the hitting cage. A little bit different today. Couldn't get everybody in one room, but we're still here nonetheless. And like he said, a lot of crap happened since we last talked to you. And we were just talking, as he was just talking about, one of the biggest news, Devers to the Giants. I don't remember exactly where I was when it happened, but I just remember getting a text from my partner, my pal, Jack Glennon, saying, Devers! And I had seen the news, and it was weird. And y'all see this hat on my head. Goodbye. Get out of my division. See ya. Sayonara. But it was so weird to see all of that drama come to a point and it finally explode in front of the Red Sox's faces. It was a weird week of baseball, especially with the Devers news. The Yankees continue to scuffle. The Mets are no longer looking like the best team in baseball. Neither New York team can hit. The Phillies go back in front in the NL East. It's so weird. Shohei Ohtani returns to pitching. Weird week, fun week. A lot of things happened. Let's talk about it. Let's start with the Devers thing. Devers, like Jack was saying, is a great addition for somebody who, when we first started this podcast, we were picking the Giants to be a dark horse, and, they no longer seem like a dark horse. That NL West is stacked, man. I mean, you look at the Dodgers again. They're the Dodgers. You got the Giants right on their tails, 4.5 games back. Padres not far behind the Giants at 5.5, and then the Diamondbacks at 7.5. And while the Diamondbacks, I don't think is anybody's favorite or any, probably not going to be a team that, wins that division. Maybe not makes the wild card. They have a chance. They can make a push. It's going to be interesting to see what the Diamondbacks do, especially come trade deadline. I know a lot of their players been in trade deadline rumors. You look at their ace in Corbin Burns that just got there. He's been shut down, and now you look at Zach Gallen. His name's in trade rumors. Eugenio Suarez, who hit 4 home runs earlier in a game earlier this season. He's in trade rumors, especially with my New York Yankees. But it's just interesting to see how the Giants have now attacked this. They realize, we had a decent offseason. We finally got a great target to Willie Adames to come here, who Willie's not even been playing that well. And Jack can tell you all about that, honestly. I'd love to see him go off on some Willie Adames tangents. Willie batting .206 with 9 home runs, 33 RBIs, and 60 hits so far this season. He went over, it seems like yesterday, in his game against the Marlins, as they dropped that one 4-2. And I'm recording this on Wednesday, June 25th at about 12:50 in the afternoon. So, you get your free agent in Willie Adames, and he's not even doing everything that you want him to do at the plate. But it doesn't matter because you go and get Rafael Devers, who the very first thing he says when he gets there is, I'm ready to play where they want me to play. It makes me think, what other drama was going on in the Red Sox front office that Rafi just did not want to play anywhere that they wanted to play? So it makes me think that this has been something that's been boiling over ever since the signing of Alex Bregman this offseason. Obviously, Rafi was getting paid a tremendous amount of money from the Red Sox, so it's not going to be a good feeling when you see someone come in there and take over your spot. Craig Breslau, they want him gone up there in Boston. Correct me if I'm wrong if you're a Red Sox fan watching this. All I've seen is a bunch of confusion and why is this happening? That's now twice that they've dealt the face of their franchise to the West Coast, and they didn't, get back Xander Bogaerts, and he went to the West Coast. They're all on division rival teams when they were all teammates. Just a couple years ago, that core is gone now, and you just sit and you wonder about the Red Sox. And speaking of the Red Sox, they lose yesterday to the Angels in heartbreaking fashion. Time to talk about the kids. You all know me. I'm a huge Rocky Top guy. Look at the guy in that picture right there. Christian Moore. He had his welcome to the MLB moment. He had his game. He hit the game-tying home run and then hit a 2-run walk-off to defeat the Boston Red Sox. He struck out earlier to former Vol Garrett Crochet, who looked fantastic and is still doing his thing for the Red Sox. You got to wonder if that's maybe a trade target that some people are looking at, because the Red Sox were supposed to be competing now. Is it a punt? I wouldn't call it a punt. You have to wait and see if you get your key players back from injury and see if the Red Sox can make another go of things. I don't think if you're a Yankees fan, you're looking at the AL East and worried about winning the AL East. You should know that the AL East is in grabbed. You've got it. I think what you worry about is, can you get past the CS? I like the odds for this Yankee team to get past the DS. Can you get past the Tigers? Can you get past the Guardians again? Can you get past somebody in your own division that might be there like the Rays? The Rays are getting still sneaky hot. And I'll touch on the Rays here in a minute because I was just in Tampa Bay to watch them play the Orioles in a game that they lost 4-1. Never mind that, because right after that, the Orioles went up to New York and the Yankees finally won a series, but I think they've lost like 8 of their last 11, the Yankees. And it's been lackluster hitting. Aaron Judge is still hitting home runs, but you look anywhere else down the lineup, it's not happening. They scored 4 runs against the Reds last night and still took the loss in a walk-off. And when the bullpen, it needs to do its thing, it doesn't do it. Carlos Rodon was brilliant through 6, had 88 pitches, and got taken out. Now, came out later and said that he was fatigued because of the heat. It's very hot in Cincinnati. It's very hot everywhere. We're in the middle of a major heat wave here in the United States. So it's peculiar. It's weird to see what's going on with all these good teams. You look at the Mets. Soto started hitting, and now they just can't win games. Their pitching is finally catching up to them. They can't pitch worth dick. And I had that coming in. Look at their rotation. It's not good. Yes, they're injured, but they also don't have that timely hitting. Neither team in New York is hitting, and teams like the Phillies are taking a lot of advantage to that. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track. It's a lot to recap. We mentioned Shohei Ohtani returns to pitching. I think he's had 2 outings since it's happened. Looks good in both outings. He's healthy. That's good. Before I keep going, I want to take one more point on the Yankees. Marcus Stroman finished his final rehab game, and I'm looking at the stats now because I don't have them committed to memory. He finished his last rehab in summer. He finished his last rehab game, and it raised. I'm sorry, I'm just so baffled by this. As somebody who was not thrilled with Marcus Stroman going into the year. He finished his final rehab game, and it was something horrible. Horrible. Let me look for those stats for you 1 second. He struggled this season. He's got an 11.57 ERA. Okay? Not what you want. Simply put, not what you want. Here are his stats. He allowed 5 runs on 10 hits and 2 walks over 3 2/3 innings. Not good. Not good. And you look at that Yankees rotation, they're desperate for some starting pitching. So that they could be somebody that might be targeting some Marlins prospect pitching or some or a Zach Gallen. It's interesting to see. And then the bullpen is a little taxed too right now. So I get back on track. Shohei pitched. That's all great for the Dodgers. They need all the pitching they can get too with as much injuries as they've had to their pitching staff. Look at the Giants. The Giants be putting a lot of pressure on those Dodgers. Even though they're 4.5 back, it doesn't feel like it. I'll tell you that. It does not feel like it because of how great this Giants team can be. I wanted to focus on the Rays for a second. Like I said, I was just at this game. Something really scary happened. I was at the game where Hunter Biggie was hit in the face by an Adley Rutschman foul ball. Terrible sight. And I posted it all over my Twitter. Somebody in front of me I don't know, freakily got that on video. I don't know how. And it was nasty, and it's raising questions and concerns again. Do we need to start making the fences or, higher in the dugouts? Do we need to put, excuse me, as I accidentally mute my mic. What do we need to do to, make sure that our players and our fans are safe? It's a difficult conversation, and it's something that I'd love to deliberate with all of you guys about when we do get the chance to do another live episode. I'd love to talk to you more about this kind of stuff because it's a tricky situation. It's a freak accident. I feel like that is the one and only time that he took his mind off of baseball and turned to talk to one of his friends in the dugout for a split second, and that happens. It's horrific. It's scary to think about. And thank God up above that he was able to give a thumbs up to the crowd down there at George M. Steinbrenner Field. But it's so bizarre to see that kind of stuff happen on every level. You think back when Giancarlo Stanton got hit in the face a couple years back when he was still with the Marlins. He recovered, but it's such a scary sight to see in person. So my thoughts, my prayers go out to the Biggie family, the entire Rays organization as well, and and Adley Rutschman. That's horrible to have to live with. It sucks. It's unfortunately kind of a part of the game, and you got to keep moving. Speaking of keeping moving, I want to get back to the Angels. We want to talk about the kids really quick. I went off on a huge tangent. This is what happens when they let me do my own thing here. It's a scary thought. Christian Moore, welcome to the big leagues. One of my favorite, if not my favorite baseball player at Tennessee of all time, and now top 5 of my favorite players in the MLB. Christian Moore making a bit of a slow start, but that's and when I say slow start, like 2-3 games in the majors, but a game tying and then a game winning home run last night against the Red Sox. He hits the 2-run homer. He doesn't even know he hits it. He gets down, he slides down at third, gives him his little emo, the stuff that he did at Tennessee, and then trots home. He is such an extraordinary ball player. He gets in your head because he's able to spoil. I watched this guy at Tennessee. It was a mind game. If you gave up a walk, he's the first to bat flip it and get to his teammates. Let's go. Let's get it going. And he's shining. And it's only one game. It's his breakout game. But he's also been playing magnificent defense at second. So it's really, really great for the Angels fans. I'm very happy that they have another player that they can go out and finally watch after, you lose Trout all the time because he's injured all the time. And then you lose Ohtani in free agency. I say that by also saying, hey, Yankees, we need an infielder. Go get him. I'm sorry. I'd love to see him in a Yankees uniform. That's selfish of me, but good for the Halos. Great pick. Very happy for Christian Moore. Let's keep talking about the kids. We had another prospect, former Tennessee pitcher, turned Wake Forest pitcher, Chase Burns made his debut last night. Again, I'm recording this on Wednesday against none other than the New York Yankees. Made some history. Grew up in Tennessee. He liked the Yankees, and I'm reading this is according to Mark Sheldon of MLB.com. He grew as a kid, grew up in Tennessee. Chase Burns liked the Yankees, and typical of any young person, occasionally envisioned himself wearing the pinstripes. But again, he was going against them. What'd he do in his first outing, in the first inning, you ask? Just struck out the first 3 Yankees he saw, including Aaron Judge. Now, it eventually unraveled for him, but I think if you're a Reds fan, there's plenty to get excited about there with Chase Burns, as much as I don't like him because he left my program. But we have to recap him nonetheless. You look at him last night, electric stuff. His fastball, I think, touched like 103. Ridiculous and unheard of. The Reds went on to walk that one off 5-4. He's their number one prospect for a reason, man. And electric stuff. Running up there 100 miles an hour in the very first inning, 98, 99, 99, 100, 100, 99, 98, 98, 98. And like I said, 3 strikeouts in the very first inning. Stupid. Ridiculous. Dumb. All of it. Stupid. He only gave up 6 hits, 3 earned runs, and 8 strikeouts. So his ERA starts off with a 5.40. But again, if you're a Reds fan for a debut against the power hitting team like the Yankees, hell yeah, Mr. Burns, keep doing more of what you're doing. Guys, it's a short ep. We did not cover everything that happened, but I think I covered a good basis of a lot of things here. We will see you again soon. We're looking at getting some more live production, getting you out there. But we had a lot of things happening this week with Jack going back home to San Francisco, me going to Tampa on vacation, and now Jack getting down overseas to study abroad. I do want to say one quick thing on a selfish matter. I'm a big baseball fan. My whole family is. My mom's been watching baseball since she was a kid. I'm going to try and get this without shedding any tears on y'all. But I'm a huge Yankee fan. My mom's a huge Yankee fan. She's the reason I'm a Yankee fan. Her favorite player growing up was Munson. I want to say it was 2016 or 2015. A lot of kids get dogs whenever they're like 8, 9. And we were begging for a dog, man. But why would you get a dog when you can't take care of a goldfish? Well, back in 2015, I was blessed enough to get a dog, and my mom came up with the fantastic name of Munson. And later on, his middle name was Yankee, so we named him Munson Yankee Thornhill. Munson passed yesterday, Tuesday, June 24th, with a disc disease. I was unable to walk really very much, and I had to go down to Tampa to do some stuff, and also just on vacation. He hung in there for me until I got back. And we unfortunately had to put him down yesterday. So that's another part of the reason why, I've been kind of, on the DL, and we haven't been able to record so much other stuff going on, especially with Munson passing. Munson was a great dog. He'd follow you anywhere. He was a people lover. Hell, if someone broke into the house, you look at a German Shepherd like, oh shit. You give him a treat, Munson's going to come lick it off your paw. That's the kind of dog Munson was. And it's not going to be the same without him here. And I just want to thank you guys again for letting me blabble about my dog. Took pictures with him in the Yankee hat once. And, man, it's not going to be the same without my buddy, my pups. So this one's for you, Munson. We'll see you guys again soon. I'm sure of it. If there's anything else that we did not really talk about that you want to hear about, make sure you guys leave some comments. Check out all other stuff, 88 Keys Management and Makosh Films related. Check out all the AI generated podcasts that Makosh Films is publishing over on Instagram and Twitter. Check all of us out on Instagram and Twitter. I am at L Yankee Lover on Twitter, and I think it's the Tristan Thornhill on Instagram. Check out Makash Films on Instagram and Twitter, and 88 Keys. And we'll be back soon with you guys. Follow Hidden Cage on everything. And we'll be back soon. I don't know how many times I freaking said that. Weird week. But either way, I've been Tristan Thornhill. He was Jack Glennon. And if there's one thing that I need you guys to stay with you every time that we talk, is to stay funky, stay fresh, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
You don't know what it takes, so you want to be great, but do you really know what it stakes? Do you know what it means to me?
Aye, that's a good one.